What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Josh, the Screen Gazer. Let me know if you like that YouTube name down in the comments. I think I like it, Stargate. Anyway, all right. So this is the first video, well, other than the introduction, but this is the first review that I will be doing for the start of January 2026. So as you may have seen in the last video, the first review I'm going to be talking about Stranger Things. Yes, I know a lot of people are talking about it, but I'm a big fan and I've been wanting to talk about it with a lot of people. There's a lot of things in this show that I feel like they did right, but a lot of the majority they kind of did wrong. A lot of plot holes, a lot of bad writing when it comes to the progression of the story. Vecna will we'll get into it. So episode one was slow, but it was just like all the other episode ones of season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Season one ends with them looking for Will, and then they find 11 in the woods, and then that starts off the season. Season two is kind of the same. There's not much going on with season two. It's kind of like what's going on, like with the pumpkins and all that stuff. And then season three, similar, except Max's brother gets taken, and it kind of ends like that, and then that's how the season ends, or that's how the season starts. And then with or season four, the first episode, where Chrissy dies.
Jesus Christ!
It was terrible death, but also it started, I think, one of the best seasons of the show, besides season one, obviously, because season one was fantastic. But season five, it doesn't, start with, a death like Chrissy, but it's interesting because it ends obviously with the Demogorgon going after Holly. But a couple things that I just jot down that I wanted to talk about episode one. Episode one, Vecna is starting to capture the kids again. We don't know why, but something that I'm confused about is like, okay, it's the 80s, but like, did no one ever teach their kids about stranger danger?
The bad men are coming! All of them! Do you hear me? The bad men are coming!
Like, Holly is waving to Vecna in the window, and like that, but her parents are like, oh, it's like imagination, something. Okay, but you don't see your kid looking out the window at home waving at someone. like like the Wheelers parenting skills, bro, are terrible. Mike is always never home, and it's like they don't even care. Like, all of their kids just be leaving, and they're like, oh well, what are you gonna do? They're kids. I'm like, no. I mean, the dad's even worse. Don't get me from season 1 through 4, he's terrible. I mean, we'll get into it in the next episode 2. But yeah, the Wheelers, oof. Um, love that Holly. Speaking of Holly, is getting more of a shine here. Well, I'll talk about it later as we break down Volume 2 in the finale. But I love seeing Holly be more involved in the story now. A new generation is coming up. Granted, the whole cast has grown up like 10 plus years. You so I'm glad to see that Holly is finally a part of it, because we saw Erica a part of it in season 3. So I'm happy to see now Holly a part of it. I love that Robin is a radio host and Steve is her excuse me, is her disc jockey. Perfect duo for them to be on like a broadcast together. Robin is, you know, eccentric, energetic, quirky, perfect to be a radio host, and she kills it in the show. And then Steve, obviously being there by her side, best like friendship duo other than like Steve and Dustin. As for more of the seasons as they go along, I can't be the only one that like sees this, but Mike and Elle's relationship is just like, I don't like, the chemistry just disappears every time I see them.
What?
And it's like, I don't know if it's the acting or the writing, but I don't know what's going on until at least like the finale, where I'm like, oh, I actually can feel it. Because season 1 and 2, they were kids, like 12, 13, acting their butts off, and it looked realistic, like the chemistry was there. Now that they're older, to season 5 is kind of like, I don't really see it. But except for the finale where Mike acts his ass off, then I'm like, okay, I can see it now. I love the concept of them sneaking into a military base and then sneaking into the Upside Down, which is interesting because I guess they're doing that to try to get into the Upside Down question mark, or like I don't even know, or trying to look for Vecna, thinking like the military know where Vecna is, so they're kind of just going along with the trucks on the path because maybe they might. If that's not the case, then I don't know why they don't, because they did it in Volume 2, just open one of the metal plates and then go in the upside down like that. I don't know why they don't do that because it's much easier than doing the crawl and stuff. But they're you know, now I'm saying if, granted I don't know the writing. I'm not trying to justify it, but if that's what they were meant to do, then I understand. But if it was just to go in the upside down, then they could have just opened the panel like L did, and then just went in there, and it'd be way safer, way easier. But whatever. And also Murray as well. I love Murray. He's one of my favorite characters. I love seeing him as like a delivery man. Why not? I guess. I mean, there wasn't much for his character to do, I guess, this season compared to the last seasons where he was like a paranoid journalist. So now he's a delivery man. And then, all right, episode 2 and 3, I'm kind of gonna combine. Um, as we were talking about the Wheelers, rest in peace to the Wheelers. They're alive, but they got fucked up. But shout out to Karen Wheeler. She may be terrible at looking after her kids, but she knows how to protect her kids. You know, I don't like how many times the show implies Hopper's daughter connection, Sarah and Elle.
No, I don't think so.
Like when they first in season 4, I think they encapsulated it perfectly, where he talked about how he went to like the Vietnam War and the chemicals, and that may have been like how his daughter got sick, which was great storytelling. And then that connection I felt like was perfect, but like it just kept being brought up like we were dumb. Like we knew the connect, we knew how Hopper felt about Elle and the connection and like a daughter, and he didn't want to lose her. Like we get it, but the amount of times they just kept shoving in our face is it started to get annoying. I also love that Will is finally having like an interesting role. Season 1, he wasn't there, and in season 2, he was possessed, which was cool, but like they just wouldn't leave the boy alone. And in season 3, he didn't really do anything. It was kind of just like, oh, I can feel him in the back of my neck, and that was it. Because the Mind Flayer went after Billy and everyone else, but it's like okay. And in season 4, he did nothing in California. He was just there, kind of having a crush on Mike, and that was really it. And then finally they gave him a role, like a big role in season 4, like he's the sorcerer, like he's leading. I'm like, hell yeah, finally. Why didn't Will have these powers in season 3? Like they made him so weak in season 3, like he can only feel. Like maybe because he was too young or something, or not strong enough, maybe, but I don't know. It would have been cool if they established that in season 3. And then they decided to. Now we're going into episode 3. They decided to capture the Turnbows, which I thought was hilarious. And then turn their house into like a Home Alone style, like a setting, which I thought was hilarious. And that demo got pretty fucked up too. Shout out to Derek.
Suck my fat one!
Shout out to Derek. I feel like he was a great addition to the cast, similar to like season 4 Argyle. And then seeing Derek, in the barn, kind of saying suck my fat one and like talking shit, I thought was hilarious. And then Erica was right, like he is a dipshit, bro. He just doesn't care. He eats all the time, and he just says suck my fat one. That's it. Which I know it's not a lot, but it was pretty fun. That whole fight, they chase the demo to the barn, but how? Well, one, I felt it was really fucking cool that they just drove through the upside down in like a beamer. But then as they're arguing, they just fly right into like the wormhole wall. How are they not dead? Like what's going on? How they didn't even, I didn't even see Steve like slam on the brake. They just slammed And they came out unscathed somehow. I don't know. And then episode 4, which was by far the best. I mean, episode 1 was pretty good. I think the whole volume 1 was pretty good. Uh, but episode 4 was by far the best. I feel like from episode 1 to now episode 4, it's starting to, it makes sense. There's not too many plot holes. There's stuff where it's like realistically it's like but also there's monsters and the Vecna, so how realistic, you know. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then the like ending shot, like right before, Will gets his powers. I mean, are they his powers? Because they're kind of temporary. But that whole one shot tracking shot, I thought that was awesome. Being able to see like them as they maneuver the Demogorgons, killing all those military men. And then I also love the growth of Will. Um, how his love is starting to turn into like independency from his mom and also Mike. And I love that growth and being able to see Will step up in a bigger role because he hasn't had that much bigger of roles. He's kind of been like that secondary character, so I'm glad to see him step up. Um, and also with his ability to control the mind flare, like the culmination where they go back in time and show that VHS. Like I love when they do that, like show them growing up and then him meeting Mike and with Joyce and his brother. I love that because it all culminated. This whole show has culminated to him finally being able to take control of his own narrative of all his sexuality and then also him being able to control the mind flare now. So I thought that was awesome. Also, Max coming back too, that was really cool. Uh, I knew she'd come back somehow, but I didn't know how she'd come back. So through the like Vecna's dreamscape, I thought was pretty cool, and now Holly has someone to trust. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'd say I'd rate this volume 4 like an 8 out of 10. I thought volume 1 was actually pretty good. Um, I feel like it starts to decline in volume 2, but we'll get to that in the next episode. But that's all I got for y'all. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.